the other ones, I was like, back to RuneScape, whatever, I don't care. But when I died in Ruthless, I was actually kind of sad because I was quite enjoying that because I managed to kill the Shrek, whatever he's called, and I really wanted to kill Aziri. That would have been super cool.
Who's Shrek? Wait, Shrek.
Endless Hunger.
Endless Hunger.
Yeah, this one guy. Yeah.
Endless Hunger. Oh, you're talking about the dude, the dude who's like.
Yeah, I managed to kill him on hardcore
with the
face, but it was so
nice.
stitched. It was so stitched, dude. Because like when in the in his dungeon in his swamp, I had to do Hydrosphere and Chain Hook, and I was slowed so much, right? Because they were just like walking like this too, and I'm like Hydrosphere, and I tried to Chain Hook to it, and I'm getting hit on the monsters that aren't that far away, and there's a cooldown on how many you use it, and I'm like, this is torture. The only reason I survived as well was because I had temp chains and vortex, so the mobs couldn't actually get close to me because they would have one-hit me with the like 600 stacks of the the armor penalty thing, and I'm like, please just let me find the fucking portal. I hate that swamp.
Shit.
It's probably the single worst thing in Path of Exile. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate MF more than that swamp.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah,
Did you come to this realization just because of Ruthless, or just how you've always
I've always hated it.
No, I've always hated it, always.
No, I don't mean the swamp. I'm talking about the MF.
No, I'm talking about the MF.
Everyone hates us.
No, I'm talking about MF. I've been at MF hater for like long time. Dude, let me just arbitrarily make more loot drop because I've put on gear that makes my character more shitty. Like that's like why don't they make a new class called the MF?
That's like it's a mechanic.
Why don't they make an ascendancy then method? Which just make it's just shitty except more loot drops. Because that's what you're doing. You're just equipping gear that makes you shitty and then more loot drops. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in a fucking group and I'm wearing all this shitty gear and now, oh look, I get 3 times as much loot. It's so fucking trash.
So,
it's literal design, dude. It's opportunity cost. You're sacrificing some level of power to your character because you want to find more loot instead.
The second it becomes meta, right? It's bad because then you feel like you're missing out. You don't do it, and that's when it just makes you want to fucking blow your brains out. So it just shouldn't exist because when it's good, it's bad, and when it's bad, it's so. Like, I mean, that's why it doesn't bother me because if it's like kind of shitty, then no one does it. But if it's the meta and ruthless, fucking it shouldn't exist. And then it's like, well, okay, if it's ever good in Trade League, then it shouldn't exist. So if it's ever good in SF, it shouldn't exist. So guess what? It shouldn't fucking exist!
Okay, this pains me to say because I don't feel like you frame your take very well, but I actually agree with Quinn, and I don't like Magic Find gear either. I personally would rather see all Magic Find gone from PoE. I don't necessarily know if that's the best thing for the game, that's just like how I feel. But the reason for that, it happened, do you guys remember when Bisco was fully powered? Like the pre-nerf Bisco, and it was basically the de facto amulet for anyone while mapping. And you would amulet swap for bosses, and I just that's probably the thing for me where I was like, every other amulet feels stupid because I almost have to have a Biscos on, or I'm basically shooting myself in the foot. So I think MF can be okay when it's not that powerful, but it does very quickly get to the point where you start feeling you're forced to wear that equipment, at least on Trade League, or if you're farming for certain things on SSF. So I actually, honestly, would not mind personally, but I do see that so many people like it, and it doesn't really hurt me that much that it's in the game, but...
Nah, you're both wrong. Seeing a loot explosion at the end of the Scourge map is the greatest fucking experience in PoE. You're both wrong. Fuck you. Magic Find is good.
No, that's great. That's fine. It's important to disagree. I just really hated it when I felt stupid for not wearing a Bisco.
BG needs to do a vote, and then just whoever wins the vote, it just either stays in or gets deleted.
Now, yeah, we'll vote on it.
Yeah.
I was
like RuneScape
so interesting that you said that, because in RuneScape, that is literally what they do. They have a poll on major changes, and polls, well, they used to need 75% to go through. Now they need 70%. So if a vote hits like 69%, that change doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I wonder how dangerous that is for PoE though, with like brigading and shit though. That's the only problem.
Oh,
Remember
massive.
Sharknado incident?
I would brigade the fuck out of it. Like, Yeah, I don't agree with that. I saw Ziz doing some unethical shit, brigading a Sharknado thing one time. I was like, that is fucked up. Okay,
well,
totally fucked.
the
But,
funny thing